Details out.
All right, Rick and Sharon, temperatures really getting down there. We're talking 20s in the deserts, in the mountains as well. In fact, we're talking freeze warnings tonight for the Antelope Valley. We're going to have those for you in a minute. So we're taking you outside. It's clear and it's cool. Clear conditions actually allowing for cooler conditions since we don't have any cloud cover keeping us insulated overnight. Calmer conditions wind-wise, and in wind-protected areas, it's going to be especially cold tonight. Radar showing you mostly clear conditions, and here it is, that freeze warning that's in effect until 9 a.m. That's going to be for the Antelope Valley. We call this our fire and ice forecast because we actually have a red flag warning going into effect as well. We'll have more on that coming up in a little bit. Let's focus on temperatures here really quick. 49 in Lancaster, Wrightwood at 49, the Apple Valley at 48, Van Nuys 59, Valencia at a very cool 50 degrees, and downtown at 60. We're expecting to see 40s in the basin, low 40s in our inland spots in the valleys, and of course in spots like the Antelope Valley, we're expecting 20s tonight. We're going to show you exactly how cold it's going to get coming up in just a little bit. Do want to show you current wind speeds. Wind plays a huge factor in very cold temperatures. When we're in a wind protected area and the wind is much calmer and the conditions are clear, that's when we get some of our coolest conditions. Usually when wind comes in, it mixes the air, and when the air gets mixed in, we actually see that warmer air combined with cooler air. We're not seeing that in wind protected areas in Lancaster, only at 4 miles an hour right now in the Apple Valley at 3, so no surprise, we are expecting very cold conditions there. More on those numbers, your extended forecast, a chance of rain, and that red flag warning. So much to talk about tonight. That's all coming up in a little bit. Rick and Sharon, back to you.
All right. That is nice. We can never forget, should never forget.
Should never. Yeah. Absolutely.
Now, okay, so we got these extreme parts of weather now, I guess. So it's been, you guys had a cold weekend at your houses, I imagine.
Very cold. I think all across the South.
It was nice.
It was nice. I was a little cold. It was a little cold for my taste, but it was nice for a change. Sometimes it's nicer to be cold and snuggle up than be hot and not be able to cool down. So we're actually calling this our fire and ice forecast, or I'm calling it my fire and ice forecast.
Okay. Isn't there a ball out there by the name of Fire and Ice? Maybe it was just a party from the past. I don't know.
Robert Frost? Is that Fire and Ice?
A Fire and Ice ball? I've heard of something like that. Anyway, I digress.
Well, all right. We'll look into that.
Sorry.
But yeah, we're saying fire and ice because we're looking at a red flag warning. So we're looking at fire conditions in the afternoon, but overnight we see cooler conditions. Why? Well, we don't have that cloud cover insulating us. It's not trapping in the heat. So as a result, all the heat that we got during the day escapes. On top of that, we're looking at pretty calm conditions wind-wise at this point, and we're looking at very cold conditions in the wind-protected areas. On top of that, we are expecting winds to pick up in some spots by tomorrow, and we will be looking at a red flag warning by the time we get there. We're actually under one right now through tomorrow. We're also looking at a freeze warning, and that kicks in at midnight. It lasts through 9 a.m., and this is for spots like Lake Los Angeles, Lancaster, Palmdale, Quartz Hill, and take a look. Here's the other end of the spectrum. We're looking at a fire weather warning, and that's going to stay in effect through 6 o'clock tomorrow evening for the Santa Clarita Valley, for the LA County Mountains, and for the Ventura County Mountains, including the Santa Monica Range as well. So Malibu Hills also under that fire weather warning through tomorrow evening. Meanwhile, temperatures are starting to plummet. 40s, 50s, and 60s. 59 Van Nuys, 49 in Wrightwood, Lancaster at 49 degrees, and Long Beach at 62. Wind-wise, we're calm in some of our valleys, and as a result, we're looking at very cold conditions there, with the exception of the Santa Clarita Valley, where we're looking at northerly winds coming in at about 15 miles an hour. So just to break it all down for you again, your weather headline showing you that freeze warning through 9 a.m. Kicking in at midnight, a red flag warning kicking in or lasting through 6 o'clock, a chance of showers through your Friday, and then the next chance Saturday and possibly Sunday to Monday. A quick look at your 5-day forecast, 80s, 70s with a chance of a shower by Friday, partly cloudy through Saturday with maybe another chance Saturday night. Rick and Sharon, back to you. I love it. I love it. Oh, fun. We'll organize a little field trip, but it's pretty amazing. The lifts are open in Big Bear, as we mentioned. We saw snow with this last storm that passed through, and we're still looking at maybe a couple more storms. Could even see some snow in the coming week or so. So we're going to keep you posted on that. For now, though, we're talking about cool temperatures. We're taking you outside. That was just a look from our Mount Wilson camera overlooking downtown. Already pretty chilly. We're down to 60 in downtown, 59 Pasadena, 48 in Wrightwood right now, but we are expecting temperatures to get a lot colder. We've got a freeze warning that's going into effect at midnight for the Antelope Valley, expecting temperatures to fall down into the 20s tonight. So pretty impressive stuff. And this is going to stay in effect through 9 o'clock, and that's 9 o'clock in the morning. On top of that, we've got a fire weather warning as well. That that's going to stay in effect through 6 o'clock tomorrow evening. And this is for spots like the Castaic Junction right there, the Santa Clarita Valley generally, and the LA County Mountains. We're also including the Santa Monica Range in this warning as well. So we're expecting dry conditions, windy conditions, and warm conditions by the afternoon, a far departure from where temperatures will be later tonight. Temperatures earlier today made it to 73, so we were just below average. We're expecting temperatures to warm up, though, over the next 24 hours. So very cool tonight. Downtown getting down to 47 degrees, cold and clear and windy for downtown. First thing in the morning, we're up at 50 degrees, and by the afternoon, we're up into, actually, it's going to be a little warmer than this. We're going to update you on those numbers. We're talking 70s and 80s with a few 60s out there. That's all coming up in just a little bit. Back to you. I actually knew somebody. There is a James Bond. I knew somebody in college, and his name was James Bond.
It's not the same guy.
Okay,
But it was, you know, his grandfather's name was James Bond. Is a great, not the same guy. No.
But amazing. Got to check that one off the list.
We'll put it on the list. Oh, there we go. LAX disappeared. We'll put it on the list. Thank you, Sharon. All right, we're going to take you outside to the airport where we are dealing with clear conditions and very cool conditions out there this evening. Take a look right here on radar. We're looking at clear conditions out there, and we are looking at a few advisories and warnings as well. We'll get there in a minute. Take a look right here. 40s and 50s, 49 in Lancaster, 59 in Pasadena, 60, that's for downtown, 61 in Laguna Beach. You'll see a freeze warning that's going into effect actually at midnight, lasting through 9 a.m. for the Antelope Valley. And we also have a red flag warning, or a fire weather warning rather, that's in effect now, and it stays in effect through 6 o'clock. Warm, dry, and windy conditions. And it feels strange to say warm since it is so chilly out there tonight, but things will warm up fast as we head into tomorrow afternoon. 73, that was the forecast high today in downtown. 74, that's average. So we were about a degree below average for this time of year. Over the next 24 hours, 40s, 50s, and getting up to the 80s by the afternoon. So it's going to be a very warm forecast by the time we get there. So Burbank, 80 degrees. Ontario tomorrow, 82. Lancaster, 70. A little cooler for us there, but very cool tonight. We're expecting 20s even. And Oxnard, 76 degrees. As we get a look at your forecast, there's a couple things going on. We've got high pressure sitting offshore. So with that, we're looking at the offshore winds and the warm and dry conditions, but at the same time, we're keeping it very clear and cold overnight. Then we're expecting low pressure to come through here, and with that, we could potentially see some rain in the forecast, and you'll see that in your 5-day forecast right here. Couple chances for us. The first chance materializes Friday, then the next chance potentially comes in late Saturday into Sunday, but the bigger chance should be Sunday into Monday. So we will continue to track those second chances for you, but the first one we're eyeing right now is at the end of the week. Remember, until then, we're expecting very cold conditions overnight with that freeze warning in effect for the Antelope Valley and the red flag warning, the fire weather warning, in effect through tomorrow at 6 o'clock. Plenty of sunshine lasting through Wednesday, mostly cloudy conditions by your Thursday with a chance of a shower by Friday. Looks to be dry with no snow, at least with this one by Friday, and partly cloudy by Saturday. Rick and Sharon, back to you. Like I was saying, we would never do that.
No.
We wouldn't play hooky, no, and go snowboarding. But it looks like a great time out there. And as we head into the next few weeks here, we could get a little more snow. Certainly getting a little more rain and very cold temperatures as well. We'll get into that in just a minute. We're taking a look from our Mount Wilson camera. We are overlooking downtown at the moment, clear and cool. 57 degrees, that's right here at the Broadcast Center in Studio City. 59 in Van Nuys, Lancaster getting down to 49 right now, 47 in Wrightwood. And downtown, we were just looking at you are down to 59 degrees. We're expecting very cold temperatures tonight. In fact, sub-freezing numbers, upper 20s. Possibly for spots like the Antelope Valley. No surprise that a freeze warning is going into effect after midnight. That's when temperatures are really going to start to drop off, and that stays in effect through 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. Additionally, we do have a fire weather warning for the Santa Clarita Valley, for the LA County Mountains, Ventura County Mountains. This also includes the Santa Monica Range, and that's in effect through 6 o'clock tomorrow evening. What does that mean? Warm temperatures tomorrow afternoon, windy conditions, and dry conditions as well. For now, though, very cold overnight, 47 degrees, cold and clear, with a northeasterly wind coming in between 5 and 15 miles an hour, gusts up to 25 miles an hour. And in the wind-protected areas, that's where we're actually looking at some of the coolest conditions. In the morning hours, very cool start. We're at 50 degrees, and by the afternoon in downtown, we're getting up to about 81. So generally the basin will be in the 80s tomorrow, and we are starting with cool temps Eventually, temperatures are actually going to warm up, and we're expecting a northerly wind to come in at about 15 miles an hour. So we're going from cool to warm, and by tomorrow afternoon, 70s and 80s across the board. We'll have that extended forecast. That's all coming up in just a little bit. Lena and Sylvia, back to you.
All right.
And we're expecting a pretty warm forecast followed by a chance of rain. We'll explain coming up.
Don't miss it at all.
We have man-made snow in the mountains here.
Yes, we do.
It kind of feels like we could have snow here at night in some places.
Exactly. It really does. If we had, the precip coming in, then maybe we could, but it's so clear out there, and it's very
dry,
cold.
too.
Crisp, very dry. Yeah, it's that dry, cold air, and it's really bone chilling. In fact, we do have a freeze warning that's going to affect after midnight. It's lasting through tomorrow at 9 o'clock in the morning. There's no surprise because temperatures are falling below freezing, and by below freezing, we're talking 20s in the Antelope Valley. Also looking at pretty calm conditions in some of the wind protected areas, and again, clear conditions. The combination of the three making for very cold numbers out there tonight, but a little later in the forecast, we are expecting some changes. And by changes, we're talking very warm temperatures and a red flag warning. So you'll see right here, freeze warning that's going into effect after midnight, lasting through 9 o'clock tomorrow morning for the Antelope Valley. And then we've got the fire weather warning that's staying in effect through 6 o'clock, expecting windy, warm and dry conditions by the afternoon hours for the Santa Clarita Valley and for the mountains, the LA County Mountains, Ventura County Mountains. And this also includes the Santa Monica Range right there as well. So spots like Malibu Hills, looking at very dry, warm, and again, windy conditions by tomorrow afternoon. Temperatures currently in the 40s, in the 50s, wind speed somewhat calm with the exception of the Santa Clarita Valley. And you'll see, just to recap right here, freeze warning, a red flag warning, chance of showers. That's the new development, and that's going to kick in Friday. Our next chance could kick in over the weekend into next week. So for the beaches, sunny and warm, and then by Thursday, cloudy. By Friday, a chance of showers. Same thing goes for the basin in Orange County. And for the mountains, we're talking sunny skies, windy conditions, increasing clouds, a little cooler, partly cloudy. Doesn't look like we'll get snow with this round, but there's another chance of rain next week, so we will continue to track that for you. We'll have more coming up in the 10 o'clock hour. Lena and Sylvia, back to you.
All right.
Down into the 20s tonight, guys. That's going to be for spots like the Antelope Valley. We're expecting spots in the valley locations, otherwise generally getting down into the 40s tonight. 40s generally across the Southland, and up in the mountains a little colder in the 20s. We do have a freeze warning that's going into effect after midnight. That's when temperatures are really going to start to drop off. That stays in effect through 9 a.m. We actually got a record low last night, got down to 19 degrees in the high desert in Lancaster and beat the old record of 23 degrees. That's how cold it got last night. We're still expecting it to be very cold tonight, but maybe we'll be up just a couple of degrees. Also looking at a fire weather warning, just the opposite by tomorrow afternoon, expecting a very warm forecast. Dry and windy, and as a result, that's in effect through 6 o'clock tomorrow evening. We're going to have the latest on this, your extended forecast, and a chance of rain. That's all coming up in a little bit. Sharon, back to you.
All right.
Freezing cold temperatures tonight and a major warm up on our hands tomorrow. We'll have your full forecast coming up. Exactly. I've been saying it all night. It's our fire and ice forecast. Little Robert Frost for you. But really, though, it's very cold out there, and it's going to be very hot as we head into tomorrow, and windy and dry. So we're looking at red flag warnings, and we're also looking at a freeze warning. We'll get there in a minute. We're taking you outside to our Mount Wilson camera. We're overlooking downtown. It's clear. It's cool. We're at 57 degrees, and that's right here at the Broadcast Center at Studio City. So we've got a freeze warning kicking in after midnight, lasting through 9 a.m. This is for the Antelope Valley. Worth a mention, last night we set a record low, got down to 19 degrees. For Lancaster, actually, broke the record of 23, and tonight doesn't look like we're going to do it again. We're up a few degrees, but even then, we're still talking upper 20s, which is considered sub-freezing. As we get a look right here, you're going to see a fire weather warning in effect through tomorrow evening at 6 o'clock. This is for the Santa Clarita Valley, the LA County Mountains, the Ventura County Mountains, and it also includes the Santa Monica Range. We're expecting dry, windy, and warm conditions tomorrow afternoon. Meanwhile, tonight, starting to get very cold. 44 right now in Lancaster, set to get good 20 degrees colder in some spots. 59 in Pasadena, 59 in downtown, and 59 as well in Long Beach this evening. Winds are calm at this point with the exception of Santa Clarita, 17-mile-an-hour sustained winds. Other than that, winds coming from the North Lancaster at 3 miles an hour. And I will tell you, the calmer the wind, the cooler it's going to get. Once the wind kicks in, it mixes the air, the warm with the cold. But when it's just stagnant the way it is right now for the Antelope Valley, well, that's when we start to see very cold temperatures, and that's exactly what we're dealing with that freeze warning that kicks in at midnight, lasts through 9 a.m. Red flag warning, remember, in effect for our local mountains through 6 o'clock in the evening tomorrow. That also affects the Santa Clarita Valley as well. A chance of showers, that's a new development for Friday, and we're also expecting another chance later in the week. We'll get there in a minute, but as we get a look at the next 24 hours, 40s, 50s, and getting up to the 80s by tomorrow afternoon. Today, we made it in the low 70s, so we're a good 10 degrees warmer in some spots. Riverside 82, Irvine 82, Lancaster 70, and Oxnard 76 degrees. So a few things going on here. We've got offshore flow, high pressure set up over Southern California, and that clockwise rotation around the high is bringing in the offshore winds and the clear conditions. But at night, we're dealing with the clear and cold conditions, hence the frost advisory, actually the freeze warning to be more exact, for the Antelope Valley. And by tomorrow, that offshore flow kicking in again, and we're looking at fire weather. Again, warm, dry, and windy. As a result, we're looking at red flag warnings in the mountains. 80s for the next couple of days for the basin, warmer by Thursday. By Friday, a chance of showers. For the beaches, 70s, low 70s by Thursday, mostly cloudy with a chance of showers by Friday. As we get a look at the deserts, you'll see upper 60s turning to 70s, starting to get a little windy, then mostly cloudy by Thursday with a chance of showers by Friday, partly cloudy by Saturday, and also tracking another chance of rain late Saturday into Sunday potentially, but the next big chance should materialize Sunday into Monday. We will continue to track that chance for you through the week. For now, Rick, sending it back to you.